All right, let's start right from the beginning. The Heilige Seite Maharal in Prague. I have a few minutes. I'm going to Hershey, Pennsylvania, speaking on the stage tonight with Dr. Ben Carson, giving an opening prayer at an event. Dr. Carson is going to be the keynote speaker, and some friends of mine are being honored, so that's why they asked me to come say a few words. But anyway, let's learn Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, a very famous Rashi, that the Torah should have begun with just the mitzvah of a Chodesh Zelachem. I'm sorry if I'm not going to translate everything. I have a lot of learning I have to finish before I get there, and I'm only 20 minutes away. So I want to do this just so we do it. But I still love you all, and I love what we're doing here. Bereishis Rabbah. So it's the Medrash. Afal gab the ein sofer echad b'Torah shlel tzarich. So the thing is, there's nothing in the Torah that's unnecessary, and superficial, superfluous. Palachas loitin timna, right? A few weeks ago, one of the inmates in the prison was asking, could he get a Bible highlighter, because a lot of the Bibles there, pages are very thin, and if you use a regular highlighter, it bleeds through. And I said, I didn't say to him because I don't want to discriminate against his religion, but to me, in my religion, the whole Torah, you don't highlight something, There's not like certain things you put in, red letters or something, or blue letters, because everything is holy. And actually, the halacha like that is that you can't use different colors when writing a Sefer Torah. And even Achas Loitin Timna, even it says the sister of Lotan was Timna in Genesis 36, verse 22. That is just as important as any other verse in the Bible. And the meaning, and why is the Heilige Seite Maharal saying this? I mean, is saying, just because the Torah begins with something doesn't mean it's more important than anything else in the Torah. But that quote is from the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Sag Tesam Beis. So Acher Sheshem Torah Ein Neifel All Mitzvahs Torah. The thing is, it's nonetheless, the Torah is talking about the mitzvos, the commandments. Shahari Lashon Torah Hu Lashon Hayra'ah. Because Torah means teaching. The Horos Lanu Ma'isa Asher Nasa. To teach us what we're supposed to do. Lefichach Davka Torah Moshe Nikra.
In half a mile, turn left onto Sand Beach Road.
That's why no other part of Scripture is called Torah, because the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, the Pentateuch, those are teaching us what to do. I mean, even though you have, in Esther, you have the mitzvah of the Megillah.
Take the next left onto Sand Beach Road.
You do have mitzvahs, rabbinical mitzvahs that are later in the Bible. But all of that is also, it's because it says le'sasser, that you don't deviate from what the rabbis teach you.
Continue for 6 miles.
You don't deviate from what the rabbis teach you. So therefore, it's all one thing. And mipnei shabak suvim mitzvahs. But the thing is the Torah is the Torah because the mitzvahs are in the Torah. V'chein perish Radak. The Radak explains that Torah means teaching. I know it's often called law, but there's a purpose in that too, that we call it law, meaning that that the Torah is laws. That's why we call it law and the prophets, right? So the only thing is, so why do we have narratives in the Torah? Why do we have stories if the Torah is a law book? Why do we have poetry? Why do we have more than just laws? All right, we have 613 commandments in the Torah, but there's a lot of other stuff there too. So what? So it's not just about the prominence of what's at the beginning. It's the whole idea, right? Teda l'chashahari sefer Eov shagam ken kasru Moshe. Right? The book of Job was written by Moses, according to the Talmud in Baba Basra. And even though Moses wrote the book of Job, you cannot write a Sefer Torah and include the book of Job in the Torah. a Torah scroll that's read liturgically in the Torah in the synagogue cannot contain anything extra than Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Psalm 90 is the Psalm of Moses, prayer of Moses. You can't include that either, right? Christ used to say for Tzibur, you cannot read it liturgically and publicly in the congregation. I mean, you can put a book together where you have the Bible, you have the Tanakh, but you can't have, a Sefer Torah, a handwritten scroll, and include Psalm 90 or the book of Job, because it's Moses, right? So that's why there's this question, and that's why Rashi had to answer it, that there is indeed something to be learned from it, and that is, that the whole world belongs to God. And the Zionists like to say, well, look, God gave it to the Israelites. So there was a Zionist once got up in front of Professor Leibowitz, who actually, you can see this video online where Professor Leibowitz, he answers. He said, no, that first Rashi doesn't support Zionism, because God took it away from the Canaanites, the land, and gave it to the Israelites, but then he took it away from the Israelites and gave it to the Babylonians, and he gave it to the Jews, took away from the Jews and gave it to the Romans, and gave it to the Malamukes and the Byzantines and the Palestinians and the Turks and the British and whoever else. And there's reasons for that. The Zohar Kodesh talks about that because the Muslims and other Arabs circumcised, they're blessed to have a temporary hold on Eretz Yisrael until Mashiach comes. And because their circumcision is incomplete, they didn't convert, they only have an incomplete hold on the land. Whereas if they convert, then when the Messiah comes, they would be totally part of the land. So that's the but the point that and he talks about this more here, but I think it's enough that we learned this. It's not necessarily with the Maharal, I'm just saying with Professor Leibowitz, as Colonel Baruch said with Shia Leibowitz, he said, the point of that Rashi is that the whole world belongs to God, not that the Holy Land belongs to the Jews. The Holy Land belongs to God, the whole world belongs to God, and God can give whatever land He wants to whoever He wants. And our hold on the land is not a military hold, it's not a governmental hold, it's based on our devotion to God and our covenant with God. And if we break that covenant, we lose that, and so we're right now an exiled people because of that. Just because the Zionists did this artificial rape of the land, which is really what it is, doesn't make it that's something to do with our covenant. It's two different things. It has nothing to do with the biblical aspects of that. So, which again, we can talk about all that at another time. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment, and we'll see you all later. Have a good Shabbos, everybody. Harry, turn it off.